Welcome back to another Identity Car Care video, everyone. I've just completed my first track day, so I'm going to put together a 3-part series on how you guys can buy a car or use your daily car, take it to a track day and have fun. So I'm going to split it over 3 episodes. Episode 1 is going to be my 8 steps beginner's guide, and it's just basically a small 5-minute video showing you the simple 8 steps that I took to get a car or use your daily car, take it to the track and have some fun. I have never ever been on a track before or done a track day, so this is the steps that I done. It's a real representation to what to expect and basically a realistic video of what's going to happen on the day. Part 2 is going to be a sim. So a simulator, which was sorted out by my brother Gary, and that is me driving a virtual reality sim of the track that I'm going to on a similar kind of style car that we could match on the simulator. Part 3 of the series is going to be me physically going onto the track for my very first time. So let's get in to part 1, 8-step beginner's guide to taking your car to a track day. Step 1, very simple step, find yourself a car. Or you may already have a car and you have like your daily car. For an example here, I went out and bought my own Honda Civic Type R. If you guys want to get up to speed with that, go back and there is a whole series on my channel of the Honda Civic. How we bought the car, repaired the car and get the car ready. One thing I'm going to note on this step, make sure your car is roadworthy. If you want to get a car and not have a valid MOT here in the UK, you're still going to have it up to the regulations of the track day. So step 1, find a car, make sure it's roadworthy. Step 2, find a track that is going to suit you. I've picked Knockhill Racing Circuit because I'm up here in Scotland. It's about an hour and a half drive from me. It's the kind of best track in Scotland, and it's relatively accessible to me. So I've picked Knockhill Racing Circuit. You guys will obviously pick something that's closer to yourselves or meets your kind of needs. So step 2 is find what track you guys are going to take your car to. A couple of pieces of information on when you've picked your track. What I would suggest doing first is go to the track and view a track day. I was lucky enough that you guys will have seen in the Cars and Coffee episode, I went to a Traction Track Days car meet that was at Knockhill Racing Circuit, so I got a feel of where I was going, what to expect, seen cars on the track, where to park, all those kind of things. So I would say in detail, go and view a track day first. Another small detail, the paddock when you get there can be quite intimidating. So on the day that I was there, and I wasn't even racing or I wasn't on the track or anything, when I turned and seen all the teams, because there'll be teams there with trailers and like actual trailers and stuff, proper committed guys to the motorsport. So it can be intimidating to be on the paddock. So I definitely recommend going and checking out a track day at your venue, and it'll just get you a feel and it'll just take off some of that anxiety, and you'll get a feel of the place and feel a bit more comfortable when it comes to your turn to being on the track. Step number 3, speak to the venue that you have chosen. So basically ring them up, get as much information as you can, or go onto their website and there'll be a whole list of regulations, and basically you'll know if that day that you're planning to attend is applicable to you and suitable to you. I actually ringed up Knockhill Racing Circuit's office and I spoke to the girls who were very good with me. I had read a lot on the website and I wanted to call and double check that because I was a beginner and I had never been on the track before, that this track day that they had organised, that I was applicable to book into. And basically they gave me feedback over the phone of what to expect. So yes, I could take my car to this track day, but they did advise me there will be guys there or teams there who never miss a track day and are every single track day, and they will ultimately overtake you quite a lot. That's just a difference in experience. They also informed me that there was more days suitable to a driver like me on the kind of hot hatch days, where they split everyone into groups and you will be on the track with like-minded people and very, very first step beginners. So there was no problem with me attending this track day, which I ultimately attended, but they can give you advice on maybe a more suitable track day for you. And also, in terms of Knock Hill, I'm sure they offer one-to-one training, so you can go out with an instructor, learn the track, they'll give you hints and tips. I'm not saying here that I'm so big and I didn't need that kind of stuff. It's just that in the time scale I had, in the scope and the way that the track days work, because the season was about to start, this one just happened to be more suitable for me, even though I was slightly going in at the deep end. But certainly, speak to the venue before you just rock up with your car. And again, it will help you and take a lot of anxiety off your shoulders. Step number 4. Pick a helmet. I was lucky enough that I actually received these as a Christmas present, and thank you to Gary and Melissa, who branded my helmet for me before the race day. These are OMP helmets, which did I get, Michelle, from Demon Tweaks?
Demon Tweaks, yeah.
Demon Tweaks, yeah. So I picked these helmets up from Demon Tweaks. Personally, I just wanted my own helmets. I've got a large and a medium. You can measure your forehead, and they have good videos on how to measure your head for a helmet on Demon Tweaks' website. I picked up 2 helmets, one for me, one for Michelle, but we have the 2 sizes. My head's kind of in between, so I fit into both helmets, but it's quite ideal to have 2 helmets that if I want to bring any of my friends, we've got helmets and I know I have my own helmet. A quick note on helmets, guys. When I got to the briefing at Knock Hill, they actually have a helmet store where you can borrow a helmet or hire a helmet for a day off of them. So basically, I think you give a small deposit even, and the deposit is returned to you when you return the helmet. I'm not sure how that's going to be at every single track, but on the safety briefing, they did mention that at Knock Hill. But still, I've got my own helmet. I think these were around £90 each, so not too expensive, but a good entry. You also have to make sure that they're up to spec for the track day that you are attending. Step 5 on my beginner's guide, book your track day. Now that we have the helmet, we have the car, we've spoken to the venue, we are relatively happy, go ahead and book your track day. Some points on that. When I booked my track day, you can do it over the phone or on the website. I chose to book on the website after speaking to them on the phone. Once I had booked, a confirmation was emailed to me along with a video link to a safety brief that you have to complete before you go. There was also a form to fill in, which had to be done before attending the track day. So I had done that the night before, and any passengers that I wanted to take with me, I had a separate form for each of them. But I never paid the passengers until I got there on the day, which was quite handy. Once you've watched the video and you're happy, you've filled in your forms, just read through everything. There's a good guide to what to expect on the day. So step 5, book your track day. Step 6, take tools with you for your track day. So in step 6, it's just about preparing the night before. Any tools, any equipment you may require. I went ahead, something I love doing is making lists. I'm not going to show you every single tool that I took, because if I have to show you what a spanner is or what a socket is, see one of my upcoming videos on toolkits. So I'm just going to run through the list on everything that I prepared. I'm quite an anxious person, and this was a big deal for me attending my first track day, which is why I put together this realistic step-by-step guide and how I've achieved it. Other people will have achieved it in slightly different ways, but I have a toolkit list here of everything I took on the day. So I took a fuel can, for obvious reasons, filled with fuel. A wheel chock, because something my brother pointed out, when you come off the track and your brakes are warm, you ain't going to want to sit there with your handbrake on, because your pad is going to be squeezed against that red hot disc. So wheel chocks. I took a torque wrench to torque my wheels before we went on track, a jack for obvious reasons, an axle stand, again for obvious reasons in case we had to replace any wheels or fix anything. I taken a selection of spanners, just ranging from 10mm to 17, again just in case any tweaks had to be made. 3/8 socket rail, a ratchet, wheel sockets, a towing eye, something that is very important. You must have a towing eye in case you go off the track or you break down. You need a point of recovery, so ensure you have somewhere for them to attach onto your car. I took a space saver just in case it got flat. Took a head torch, a booster pack in case the car needed jumped. I took my computer. I understand not everyone will have one of them, so I took my Maxicom in case we threw up any fault codes or anything. A tyre inflator, just a plug-in one into your cigarette or your 12-volt point. A tyre gauge for PSI. Lubricants, guys. So oil, brake fluid, stuff like that. A little can of WD-40. Some screen wash for obvious reasons. So that was a list of a kind of toolkit I put together just in case anything happened on track. One thing I want to point out is the mission here is to drive our car an hour and a half to the track, kill it round the track, and then it has to drive home. So I've taken some of these tools just to make sure that at the end of the day, I can bring this car back home. A couple of things I also took with me: driver's license, I took my hand rig, my microphones, a packed lunch, quite a good thing. There is cafeterias there, but sometimes the queue can be quite long, or for whatever reason there might be something you don't like or expensive, cost cutting. Take a little packed lunch and take some juice. And I think that's really it for my list, to be honest. So this was all the preparation I'd done the night before. So that is step 6. So that is step 6. Prepare. Have a toolkit. Just have some. It's just common sense to take some of these things with you. You will notice as well, a lot of the other teams do have some similar toolkits with them. So just be prepared. The penultimate step for me was arrive in plenty of time. So on the day, we got there a good 20-30 minutes before sign-in, and that just means that we could go into the paddock, pick our spot. That was our spot for the day. We could relax, reduce the anxiety, sign in and show our driver's license and stuff like that. It just relieved everything early, and then we could focus on the car and make a plan for how I wanted to approach the track day, how many sets of laps I wanted to do, and stuff like that. You could even go around the outside of the track and view some things, speak to some people, so we had plenty of time to do that. We weren't panicking or anything like that. You'll also have a safety briefing. Mine was at 15 minutes before the track opened, so we were there in plenty of time, especially for my first track day, and this is a beginner's guide. Get there in plenty of time so that you don't miss the briefing, and you can get, if there's any questions you want to ask or anything like that, it just settles all your nerves and you can get into kind of race mode. Step 8, the last step for me, is have fun. When I got there was a lot of kind of pressure on myself, and it was quite daunting. You guys are going to get to see all this, but it can be quite intimidating, it can be quite daunting. So step 8 is just have fun. Remember, you're there for a track day. Your car, and it's your first time, you're not going to be the fastest car there, you're not going to be the fastest driver there, so stay within your capabilities, have fun, get round the track, meet some new people. There's loads of people to speak to, there's loads of cars to see, so take it all in, take as much in as you can. You'll see in the start of my video, I struggled a little bit, and then when I started to open up and I started to speak to people, that's when it really became an enjoyable day for me. It is a track day, it is not a race. And you will see how things develop for me, and if you watch my upcoming 2 videos, you will understand how a lot of that stuff that I show you guys can transfer into your track day, and it should be more successful and more enjoyable. There's a couple of key points that happened in my track day that changed the turn of events for me, and it became not enjoyable to begin with, and then I managed to loosen up and improve, and at the end of the day it became a really good experience for me, which is why I'm passing this information on to you guys. So step 8, have fun. We'll see you guys in the next video of this series which is going to be a simulator. My brother Gary has kindly set up for me, and I can just get some laps in on that track before the day comes, and it's just going to help me when I get there to just fully understand what to expect. So we'll see you guys on the simulator video. Thanks for watching.